Good morning, guys. Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina. Got a little bit of a cloudy sunrise this morning. Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. Thank you to all the servicemen and women who made today possible. And definitely looking forward to a beautiful day here inside and around Johns Pass at Fish Famous Hubbard's Marina. We also have a nice day of weather here tomorrow. Then it looks like we're gonna have a little something to be concerned about there midweek with Tropical Storm Elsa moving into the area. Wanted to do a quick morning video, guys, give you an update, what's going on, what we're catching, what we're seeing. Normally we show our 39-hour pile. Unfortunately, a little hectic here this morning. Didn't have an opportunity to run out and grab it as we had some stuff going on out in the office and getting pulled too many directions, unfortunately, guys. But we've got Captain Brian here. Captain Brian's going to tell you a little bit about what we've been seeing out there on the water and how this 39-hour trip did. How you doing, Captain Brian?
Doing all right, D. How you doing?
Another day in paradise, man.
D, living the dream.
Living the dream. That's something like that, right?
Yeah.
So how was your overnighter? How was the 39-hour?
No, this was a tougher trip. We had a rough ride out. You know, had this start a little bit closer than I'd like to, but the mango bite was pretty good. We finished up real strong our last 2 stops before sunup. The red snapper bite was tough. The late morning bite and into the afternoon, my anchor heading was changing every stop. Even if I moved a mile, my heading would be off by 30 degrees from what I left.
That's
Made
frustrating.
It difficult. We changed areas 2 or 3 times, did a little bit of trolling, didn't get anything on the trollers this trip. But finished up strong, pulled out a book from 2017 with just a scratch. I wrote down just a scratch on the paper, and I went back to the spot and it was a bunch of fish.
Nice.
Finished up strong.
I heard you guys did 20 spots in 21 hours.
Yes, we did.
That's crazy.
You know, fishing's tough. When you got to make that many stops, you're just going. If you don't get them started in 15 minutes, go to the next one.
Sticking and moving, working hard this
Moving's
trip. I heard from the crew, they said that they've pulled anchor more than they did on most trips.
They're welcome.
Got it. They earned it this trip, huh?
Everything's working good on the boat, man. It's nice when the equipment works, you know.
There you go. So a little bit tougher than expected. I know the weather forecast was nice for this trip. Ended up being a lot worse than expected, huh?
We didn't have any 6-footers, maybe. It was 3 to 5s.
Ooh.
But the current was a little off, you know, we had some serious current, and then when the boat swings, everybody's lines are way out to the side. It made it challenging. Tough bunch of guys and gals on here, man. They stayed at the rail for 21 hours and just hammered every stop and ended up with some nice stringers of fish. Had a 26-pound gag, won the jackpot, and an 18.8 red snapper.
Wow, so almost a 19-pound red snapper, 18.5-pound red snapper, and a 26-pound gag. That's nothing to shake your head at. That's a pretty good catch. I saw some big scamp, yellowtail, mangroves. Looked like a pretty good overall variety.
Yeah, we had a pretty good bunch of fish. We had a couple of stops where we had the nice big vermilion snappers coming up. You know, everybody likes the big vermilions. Me too.
Yes, sir.
But,
fresh eats.
All in all, this was the toughest snapper trip I've done since the season started. I like pulling my hair out.
Oh, man.
And then just change areas. I jumped up across the major rock formation and got down on the other side, and that helped with my anchor heading, getting away from the current. You know,
nice.
Did like a 6-mile jump up across the top of the elbow.
Yep.
And then fish down that ditch on the eastern side of it to finish up. And really, only had 2 whopper stops in there. I mean, good stops. The rest of them would get 10 or 12. It was a tough snapper bite. The snapper bite was definitely off. The shows were spread out, fishing the bottom more than trying to fish the show. But hey, didn't break the boat. Nobody got hurt, D, so I win.
What do you think the fishing will be like today on the 39-hour ahead of this storm if we can slide out here ahead of this tropical storm? Got some really nice weather called for. It's the kind of the calm before the storm. I imagine, in my opinion, they should be excited, trying to feed really nicely and kind of grouped up more.
You would think they would be trying to put some ballast in their belly. You know? Captain Garrett's driving for me this week.
I gotcha.
So, you know, he's sneaky. He'll probably pull out a good trip, I'm sure of it.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to sneak it out there.
And then we get a couple of storm days with that weather going by. We got some well overdue maintenance. We got 7 or 8 things on here to tighten up.
Yep.
And steering on the hub. We redo a bracket on that. So we appreciate the storm. Thank you. We needed the maintenance, man.
We needed a break. Well, I appreciate it, Brian. Thank you, man.
All right, D. Have a good day.
You too.
All right.
Well, you guys heard it from Captain Brian, how that 39-hour trip went. Definitely rougher than expected, rainy, the anchor heading shifting, high currents. Definitely 4 variables that add together to make it a tough experience. Very stressful and difficult for a captain, and even more stressful and frustrating on the other side of things. But those who stayed at the rail and grinded it out, like Captain Brian said, ended up with a nice pile of fish. I mean, definitely talked to a few people that had caught a limited red snapper, a handful of other species too.
Wayne had a gag grouper limit.
Gag grouper limit for one gentleman, and a red snapper limit. That's not bad. That's nothing to shake your head at. So some people did really good when they grinded it out and stayed at the rail and worked hard for it. Definitely more tricky than we would have liked. We like to make it easy for you. That's the goal. But we have like I said, that weather's coming in this week. Definitely looking like around Tuesday that weather's going to go bad, and it will probably stay bad through Wednesday into Thursday morning. Check out Mike's weather page. Stay tuned to that. See what's going on with this storm. Hopefully this storm will cut into the south and move to the east of us. If it stays to the west of us, like Tropical Storm Ada did, that'll send us a lot of storms. All the worst weather is on the east side of this storm, and all that water gets pushed into our area when that storm stays to the west of us in the Gulf. We don't want it to go to the west of us unless it goes very far to the west of us. If it stays within 70, 80 miles, 100 miles from us, we get a lot of weather. If it comes within 20 to 40 miles of us, like Ada did, it can really spell disaster. Worst case scenarios, it makes landfall like Clearwater. That's when we get all the water, and it really is a bad situation. So don't want to wish anything on anybody, but hopefully it stays to the south of us. If it makes landfall, Sarasota, even like Anna Maria south of us, it will actually suck the water out of Bogosiega Bay, Tampa Bay, and pull the water away from us. So anything south of us is good. Anything north of us is not good unless it's very far north or very far west. Hopefully, best case scenario is it fizzles out and no one has to deal with anything serious. But if it's going to stay kind of together, hopefully it goes to the south of us and stays to the east. The eye of the storm stays to the east of us. Remember, even though it's a tropical storm, we saw that with Ada, and Mike talks about it on his videos. Even a tropical storm can cause some serious weather. So you want to make sure you keep an eye on this thing, stay prepared, stay frosty, and make sure you pay attention to Mike's weather page and his updates. Right now, at least, the radar image of the storm, the center has broke up a lot, and those kind of convection bursts have kind of dissipated a little bit. They're not as well formed. So that means the storm is breaking up, it's weakening up, and really the next 12 to 24 hours are going to be the telltale sign. What is Cuba going to do to the storm? If it gets more land interaction, breaks up, we're going to be in a good place because there's a little tiny bit of shear ahead of it on the north side of Cuba. So if Cuba breaks it up a little bit, the chances of reformation and re-strengthening are fairly low. It shouldn't have a really good opportunity to really get strong north of Cuba. At least hopefully, at least that's what I think. At least that's what Mike says. So stay tuned and watch that thing, pay attention, stay prepared, and hopefully you can get out and join us for some fishing or dolphin cruising or island trips today or Monday. If not, the island trips, the shelling, the fishing should be really good behind the storm. The first person out to the island to go shelling behind a hurricane or tropical storm is the one who finds the crazy shark's teeth, crazy shells. The first person out there to the fishing spots, once the water calms down and clears up, is really good at catching some nice fish. And hopefully they'll be biting really well for us today and tomorrow ahead of the storm. One way to find out, got to get out there and put your hook in the water. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too busy, happy 4th of July. Don't forget, we do not have our live stream show tonight. I'm going to be working today until 9, 10 o'clock here inside Johns Pass with this fireworks cruise. So wish me luck on a very long day. Hopefully we'll see you soon inside Johns Pass at Hubbard's Marina, and hopefully we'll see you next week for another episode of the live stream show. And shout out to David DeVoe. Appreciate those stars. Have a great one, y'all. Happy 4th of July.